Welcome. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Appreciate your support. Shout out to the 19. So, if you have been here a little while, you probably know from time to time you hear me get a little irked about the meaning of words because it seems to be a thing in this time in which we are living where people love to change the definition of words to make arguments, to make points that they really don't have. And one of them is generational. Generational. Thank you to Caitlin Clark. Because let me ask you something. Have you seen so many athletes ever be called generational? Have you seen it specifically in women's basketball, where so many players are called generational before Caitlin Clark existed? No, you have not. But as we see here from one of the brilliant minds again of MSNBC, there are 6 teams with better than 10 to 1 odds to win the national championship. Parity has been the name of the game this season. First of all, now I have never ever looked at odds, but parity. Now I will say this because people will jump on me, and I've said this before. It's getting better, which is why UConn hasn't won a title in a while because there is a little more talent and it's starting to spread out to other teams. But parity to the point of the tournament, no, not yet. You can see that in a lot of scores in the tournament. Now, you get blowouts on the men's from time to time, but you also see far more competitive games and far more upsets because there is, although that's going to get destroyed with NIL because the mid majors that for a while there were doing really well and being competitive and starting to beat some of these big time programs, they're not going to be able to keep up financially. But that's a whole another topic. Let me get into this. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Each of those 6 teams has at least one generational talent who's bound to have a successful WNBA career.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What? What?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
By the way, it's not only 6 teams, so we're talking about 6 generational players. By the way, the same generation of Caitlin Clark. So you're saying they are equal to Caitlin Clark. Look, you can, again, words mean things. Generational is, to a lot of people, one, they are the generational talent, but it could be 2 or 3. But to say already in college basketball this season that you have 6 teams with at least one, which means possibly more than 6 players, are generational just on these 6 teams. Okay, now I checked out the whole betting thing, ESPN bet. The teams are South Carolina, and I'm assuming the player is Pow Pow. UConn, I'm assuming it's Paige Beckers. UCLA, Lauren Betts. USC, Juju Watkins. By the way, it has a teammate that's going to be drafted highly this year in 2025. Paige Beckers has lots of talent around her, and a lot of people think toward the end of the season that Sarah Strong is actually the better player. That is not someone who's generational. Texas, Madison Booker, most likely. Notre Dame, Hannah Hidalgo. But you know what? People could make the argument that it's Olivia Miles or even Sophie Citron, Sophie Absolute Citron. And I'm sorry if you can make that argument. They are not generational. There is in no way is it possible for all of these players to be generational, as someone said here, right? If everyone is generational, then no one is. Absolutely. She's trying to take care of the feelings of other players. If everyone is generational, then no one is ever mind. Anyone ever see the TV show Chuck and his brother-in-law Devin, who was Captain Awesome, and he said awesome all the time. And one time his wife was some sort of truth serum or whatever, and he said something was awesome, and she went off on a rant, basically said the same thing. If everything is awesome, by definition, nothing is awesome. And that is the way they are trying to treat generational now, again, because of Caitlin Clark.
She's special. They're all special.
It is absolutely absurd to continue with this nonsense. Again, like I said, you can't even tell me you could make arguments for multiple players on Notre Dame alone to be the best player on the team. Generational is Michael Jordan. Generational is Caitlin Clark. Now, look, these players, and by the way, I think it puts the lie to it when they say bound to have a successful WNBA career. If they are generational, barring, knock on wood, because I wouldn't want it to happen, but barring things like injury that ends a career or completely derails it. There are some injuries people come back and they're just never the same. I think Derrick Rose, Chicago Bulls is one. But if you're generational at this point, bound to have it. I mean, come on, bound to have it. It should be almost again, barring injury, it should be absolutely guaranteed that you're going to have a more than successful WNBA career. And all of these players could go on to be very good. Some of them could be great. Some of them you can even put in the all-time list, depending on the number. But generational is an absolutely different animal, and it is absurd to keep doing this and calling more and more players generational. It completely destroys the meaning and the value of the word when you were talking sports and talking about athletes and their accomplishments relative to others. If everyone's generational, no one is generational. I mean, it reminds me, it for me, it goes a little bit, it's almost like the whole participation trophy thing, right? If everyone gets a trophy, what is the point of a trophy?
It's no good in pretending we're all equal. We're not all the same.
There is no point to the trophy. It's what's it about? It's about feelings. We can't have feelings get hurt. And in this case, it's all about Caitlin Clark. We can't, Caitlin Clark has completely changed everything. She's done things no woman has ever done in basketball, which is why people watch her. She brings an excitement never seen before, and an entertainment level never seen before. And we simply can't have that because it makes people feel bad. This use, this misuse, this abuse of the word generational is no different than let's put the entire league on the cover of Time magazine for an award that was won by Caitlin Clark.
We are all equals.
I mean, at this point, we're not even going to have all American teams because that hurts feelings. You're leaving out a lot of great players when you do something like that. But anyway, generational, please, please use it correctly. Please, I'm begging you. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching this video. I just had to get that off my chest. I know it wasn't a whole lot of deep thinking or anything, but hopefully you enjoyed it a little bit. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate all your support, and I will talk to you later.